All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we are diving deep into absolute Superman #1.
Oh, yeah, this is a big one.
This is Superman, but, well, not the Superman you're used to.
Not the Boy Scout.
No, not at all. This Superman exists in a world completely reshaped by Darkseid.
A world where everything's kind of familiar, but also totally off, you know?
Yeah, like, imagine someone took the DC universe and just hit the reset button. Same characters, but the world they live in is totally different. It's like what happened with Dr. Manhattan in Doomsday Clock, remember?
Oh, yeah, that was wild. But this is Darkseid's playground now.
Exactly.
Hmm?
And so far, the Absolute line of comics has been crushing it. Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, they were both phenomenal.
Absolute Batman #1, I think it sold like 250,000 copies. Huge.
Yeah, it was massive.
Yeah.
So the question is, can Superman live up to the hype? Well, from what I've seen, Jason Aaron, the writer, he doesn't just rehash the same old Superman origin story.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
He throws us right into a Krypton that's both familiar and alien at the same time. Still Krypton, right? Advanced technology, the whole planet's about to explode, but he adds this rigid guild system.
It really changes things up.
It does. You've got the Science Guild at the top controlling everything, even the weather, and then you have the Labor Guild, basically everyone else stuck working in the mines and farms.
And there's this one panel I love where this farmer is complaining about the cost of ordering rain from the Science Guild. Just think about that for a second.
Ordering rain, it's like they're paying for a weather app or something.
Exactly. It shows you just how unequal Kryptonian society really is. Even on a planet of super geniuses, they still haven't figured out basic fairness.
It's like, even with all that technology, they're still dealing with the same problems we have here.
And then you've got Jor-El, Superman's dad, right? He's not exactly playing by the rules. He's butting heads with this League of Middle Management in the mines.
The League of Middle Management, that's got to be the worst job on Krypton. Can you imagine?
And then there's this incident in the mines with this mysterious green energy. Kills all the other miners, but not Jor-El.
Interesting. Could this be a hint about where Superman's powers come from in this new reality?
I think so. It's definitely foreshadowing something.
Okay, hold on tight because now we're jumping to modern-day Brazil. Specifically, some diamond mines run by the Lazarus Corporation.
The Lazarus Corporation. Nothing good ever comes from a corporation with that name.
Seriously. And surprise, surprise, these mines are a nightmare. The miners uncover a huge deposit of asbestos.
Asbestos, yikes.
And instead of shutting things down and taking care of the workers, the Lazarus Corporation forces them to keep working.
Classic corporate greed. Profits over people every time.
It's awful. And if that wasn't bad enough, they've got these heavily armed peacekeeper soldiers enforcing the miners' debts. It's like a dystopian nightmare.
It is. And it's in this setting that we finally meet Superman, but he's not in his usual costume.
No tights and cape.
Nope. He's in civilian clothes, having this deep conversation with a miner named Zhao about, get this, the nature of truth.
Whoa, that's pretty heavy for a first meeting.
Right. It's like Superman just shows up and starts dropping philosophical bombs.
It makes you wonder, is truth really that simple in a world like this? You've got corporations exploiting workers, toxic environments, armed guards everywhere. I mean, what side is Superman even on?
That's the question, isn't it? This isn't the Boy Scout Superman we're used to. The Superman is grappling with doubt, with uncertainty. He's trying to figure out his place in a world that's inherently corrupt.
He's questioning everything.
And then things escalate quickly. The peacekeepers catch wind of the diamonds Superman has, and, well, let's just say it doesn't end well for them.
Superman doesn't hold back.
No, he doesn't. But what's interesting is that we see him struggling to recharge his powers afterwards. Like, he's not at full strength.
Maybe it has something to do with how Darkseid messed with reality. Like, even Superman's powers aren't immune to the changes.
Yeah, it's like he's Superman, but with the volume turned down a bit.
And to make things worse, he starts hearing these whispers from Kryptonian spirits urging him to abandon Earth.
So not only is he depowered, he's got these ghosts in his head telling him to give up.
It's like a part of him wants to just turn his back on humanity. It's really intense.
It makes you think. Can a Superman who feels so disconnected from humanity truly be a symbol of hope? It's a great question that Aaron sets up right from the start. It's a tough spot for Superman, you know what I mean? Like, these Kryptonian ghosts are telling him to forget Earth, but he's still drawn to it.
Yeah, it's like a constant tug of war inside him. Krypton is gone, but it's still haunting him, literally. And Earth, well, it's kind of a mess, but it still has this pull on him.
It's a classic Superman struggle, but with this added layer because of the absolute universe.
Right. It throws everything we thought we knew about Superman into question. And just when you think things couldn't get any more complicated, he gets captured
Captured by who?
by Lazarus Corporation Special Forces.
Yeah.
These guys make the Peacekeepers look like, I don't know, Boy Scouts or something.
Oh man, that's not good. And we haven't even talked about the abandoned Kent farm yet. Did you catch that?
Wait, what about it?
It's owned by Lazarus Corp.
You're kidding me. What are the odds?
It's like they're deliberately targeting Superman's past, his roots.
It's like they know exactly what buttons to push to get to him.
And then there's that mysterious villain lurking in the shadows. He's like Lex Luthor and Brainiac all rolled into one. This guy is bad news.
So we've got Kryptonian society falling apart, a shady corporation exploiting workers in Brazil, a Superman struggling with his own identity and powers, Kryptonian ghosts whispering in his ear, and a supervillain that's like a greatest hits collection of Superman's enemies. Phew.
It's a lot, but Aaron juggles it all masterfully. Even the reviewer gives the story a perfect score. They really praise Aaron's take on Kryptonian society and the way he builds this morally ambiguous world. It's not your typical good guys versus bad guys, you know?
Yeah, it's more like everyone is kind of compromised in some way.
Exactly. And speaking of good, the art in this book is phenomenal. The reviewer even uses the word beautiful to describe it.
I know, right? Rafa Sandoval and Ulysses Areola, the artist and colorist, they just knocked it out of the park. The action is dynamic. The colors are vibrant. It's all just so well done.
It's like they created a world that's both beautiful and dangerous, a perfect reflection of the story itself.
I especially love the new design of the Peacekeeper suits. All those sharp angles and glowing bits, really intimidating.
It's a great visual representation of the power imbalance between them and the miners. Speaking of visuals, we've got to talk about Superman's new suit.
Oh yeah, the suit. It's quite a departure from the classic look. No more red trunks, that's for sure.
They're gone, replaced by this glowing partial belt. And the whole suit is darker, more metallic blue, plus glowing wristbands and boots.
It's a bold choice. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. It definitely reflects this more alien, less human Superman. What do you think about the lack of a cape, though?
It's strange, isn't it? The cape is so iconic. Here, it's almost like it's been internalized, transformed into this energy field.
You think maybe it'll make a comeback later on? Or is this energy cape thing the new normal?
Who knows? Maybe it changes depending on his mood. Like a mood ring for Superman?
That'd be kind of cool.
Oh.
Anyway, even though the reviewer isn't sold on the new suit, they can't deny that Sandoval's art is incredible. The way he captures Superman's movements is amazing.
He makes you feel the force behind every punch, every leap, and the color work is just breathtaking.
It sounds like the art team really went above and beyond for this issue.
They absolutely did. They created a visual masterpiece that perfectly complements the story. Now, before we move on, let's talk about the covers.
Oh yeah, the covers. This issue has like a million variant covers. A collector's dream for sure.
The main cover by Sandoval and Areola is fantastic. The reviewer loves how they use negative space to highlight Superman's S-shield. It's a classic look with a modern twist.
I like how the wheat field and cloudy sky in the background kind of reminds you of Smallville.
It's like a subtle nod to Superman's past, even though this Superman is clearly different.
A nice touch. Now, the variant covers get mixed reviews, which is to be expected. Not every cover can be a winner.
True. The Jim Lee variant, which showcases the new suit, is decent, but a bit boring, according to the reviewer. They prefer Lee's work when it's more action-packed.
There's also a black and white version of the Lee cover, which gets a slightly better rating because it's less busy visually.
Makes sense. Sometimes simplicity is best.
Then there's the Wes Craig variant. Cool pose, but the reviewer isn't really a fan of Craig's art style.
Fair enough. Art is subjective, after all.
The Matteo Scalera variant is next. It's described as a fun action shot, but nothing special.
And then we've got the Clayton Crane variant, which gets points for making the glowing parts of Superman's suit look like flames, but the background is kind of weak.
And last but not least, the variant with just the new Superman logo, which gets a good rating for its simplicity.
So it sounds like the main cover is the clear standout, but there's definitely a variant out there for everyone.
Which is great. More choices for the fans.
Variety is the spice of life, right. But overall, it sounds like Absolute Superman #1 is a visually stunning comic with a story that's both intriguing and thought-provoking.
Definitely. What do you think? Are you hooked?
I am, absolutely.
Yeah.
This deep dive has just made me want to go read the comic right now.
That's the sign of a truly compelling story. even when you know what's going to happen, you still can't wait to experience it for yourself.
And with a character like Superman, there's always that potential for something truly epic, especially in the hands of a talented writer like Jason Aaron.
Absolutely. He's taken all these iconic elements, Krypton, Superman's powers, his struggle between good and evil, and reimagined them in a way that feels both exciting and relevant to today's world.
It's like he's asking us to re-examine what we think we know about Superman and to really think about what it means to be a hero in a world that's increasingly complex and morally ambiguous. The reviewer even highlights Aaron's skill in world building. This isn't just your typical metropolis setting. He's created a world with a rich history, a complex social structure, and this feeling of impending doom that hangs over everything.
Yeah, the guild system on Krypton was a really clever way to show that even an advanced civilization can have serious problems with inequality and corruption.
And then you have the situation in Brazil, which feels incredibly relevant to a lot of what's happening in the world today. Corporate greed and exploitation, it's something we see all too often.
It's a Superman story for the modern age, that's for sure. One that doesn't shy away from the tough issues we're facing in the real world.
Climate change, social inequality, corporate greed, it's all there.
Woven right into the fabric of the story. And the big question the reviewer leaves us with is, can this darker, less human Superman actually be a symbol of hope? Or will he become something else entirely?
That's a really good question. Is he destined for good or for something darker? It really stays with you.
It makes you think, like even Superman has to figure out his place in the world.
It really does. He's got all this power, but he's still searching for meaning, for purpose,
Yep.
just like the rest of us.
Exactly. And it's not just about him finding himself, it's about him finding himself in this messed up world.
Right. A world where Darkseid basically hit the reset button and changed everything.
And that's what makes the Absolute Universe so interesting. It's not just the same old Superman story.
No, it's something completely new. It's like Jason Aaron took Superman and threw him into a blender and said, okay, now figure out who you are.
Imagine that you're Superman. You've got all this power, but you're lost. Your home planet is gone, and the world you're trying to protect is a mess. And on top of that, you're not even sure you belong here. What do you do?
I don't know, it's a tough question. Can Superman be a symbol of hope when the world seems so hopeless?
That's what Aaron is asking us to think about. Can Superman overcome all this darkness? Can he be the hero we need him to be?
It's a big question, and Aaron doesn't give us any easy answers.
He leaves it up to us, the readers, to decide what kind of Superman we want to see.
Will he rise to the occasion or will he fall? It's a question that's going to stay with me for a while, that's for sure.
Me too. And speaking of things that'll stay with you, that cliffhanger ending, I'm not going to spoil it, but oh man.
It's a doozy.
Aaron definitely knows how to keep you on the edge of your seat. And when you add the incredible art to the mix, it just elevates the whole experience.
Oh, absolutely. The art is phenomenal. It's dynamic, vibrant, everything you want in a Superman comic.
So if you're looking for a Superman story that's different, something that'll make you think and feel, then you got to check out Absolute Superman #1. Seriously, it's a must-read.
I couldn't agree more. It's a bold, thought-provoking story with amazing art. It's a Superman story for a new generation, one that doesn't shy away from the tough questions.
It's a story about hope and despair, about power and responsibility, about what it means to be human, even if you're an alien from another planet. So there you have it, folks. Our deep dive into Absolute Superman #1. We covered it all, the story, the art, the themes, everything.
We even tried to put ourselves in Superman's shoes for a bit to see the world from his perspective.
And we left you with a question. Can this darker, more alien Superman be a symbol of hope? Well, that's for you to decide. Go read the comic and let us know what you think.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep exploring the amazing world of comics. There's a whole universe of stories out there waiting to be discovered.